Welcome to the Tourism Hub podcast, a podcast devoted to you and your excellence, providing inspiration and education for the entrepreneurs, experience makers and excellence seekers of our industry to take your tourism business and career to a whole new level.
Relax.
Hello and welcome back to another inspired conversation and guest on the Tourism Hub podcast. We're going to get straight into it and not waste any time to introduce. Now, there's not many that have come back on the podcast twice. It's for the special people, and that's someone incredibly special that I have over here to my left, or if you're listening on the airwaves, Linda Tillman. Hello, welcome back.
Hey, Despi, so excited to be back with you, chatting all things regional tourism and events.
All things regional tourism and events, and it was at an Australian Regional Tourism Convention where we first met IRL in real life, and we had an inspired moment. And if you want to catch that, that's episode 76. So that was at Art in Mackay. And we had a moment because it's been, Linda Tillman is really Australia-wide a very highly respected leader in all things regional tourism and events. And Tillman Group is your first, what we spoke about in episode 76. I'll leave you listen to that and hear Linda's backstory. But we're going to cut straight to where we left off in episode 76. Linda comes out of an agri-tourism forum, and she was particularly inspired by a presentation that was given by our now, it just pains me to say, late Rose. And in that conversation, you were ignited. When I talk Oppa moments and ignited after hearing Rose. And then I want to pass on to you to really what it was that was bubbling inside you, that was just a little flicker of a flame. What ignited you in Mackay last year? And boy, oh boy, what has eventuated in just a short 12 months?
Where to start? Okay, so yeah, I won't go back on what we already covered in the previous episode because people can go back and have a listen to that. But yeah, it was a moment. It was this moment of beautiful Rose Wright. I've known her for a long time, and she always has inspired me in terms of her tenacity and her passion and drive. She's at everywhere you go, any kind of industry event, you can be guaranteed, particularly when agritourism was on the agenda, you could be guaranteed that Rose would be there and she would be waving the flag and she would have a voice. And I used to sit back and watch that and just be like, go, you good thing. And it did. It sparked at ART in Mackay. Not that it was the first time that I experienced that, but I think, I don't know, is it my age? Is it just where I'm at in my life and my career? But that moment, I was like, you know what? That's it. I want to be like that. I want to be tenacious. I want to have a voice, and I want to really advocate for something that I'm really passionate about in regional Australia, which is events. And that was it. It was this little, I can feel it now. Like I can feel like I'm like goosebumps, like going, give me the microphone. Because I've always been someone that's happy just to sit back and let others be at the front of things and be this quiet achiever. I've always been recognized as a quiet achiever. And I'm happy with that. And I love that. But yeah, it inspired me to say, you know what? Things aren't going to change until I start to make some noise in a good way. I want to start flying the flag for regional and rural events. I want to start really showing and demonstrating the value that they bring to regional and rural communities, and get those people, those hard-working people across regional Australia recognised for what they do in events and to support them. So that's where we were at, was that just over 12 months ago. And I've been working hard with my amazing partner in business, Kathy Treasure.
Incredible. Now, I see you, and it's funny how we see ourselves when we say like a quiet achiever. I think you continue to do remarkable things, and I've watched you from afar on the LinkedIns and the socials, and I think you two are also that gal and that human that does that for others. But I think there's a few things, and I don't want to digress, but it's so important to have someone that we look to, that we can always maintain that inspiration. So for anyone out there, I hope this episode, whether you're watching or listening, who's that person for you, and what are you sitting on that you haven't acted on like Linda has? And talking about action, and I think I said it in an email to you, like quintessential, like superhero, like action taker, quintessential action taker. Finds a partner, which is another really important thing, to find someone that's aligned in this, we're talking a partner in the same vision. And a new baby is born called the Australian Centre of Regional Events. And I love that because in all the event-inspired events, like we've got our tourism events, but more than ever in the last 12 months, can appreciate that the two, and an event leader here in Victoria said the same thing last night, that events and tourism are hand in glove. However, sometimes I don't think we're always having this conversation at the forums about just how important they are to humans in the community and the economy. So tell me about this journey of Australian Centre of Regional Events now. What the big why? I think we've already covered the big why, but I guess what is the work? Because I've seen you out on the road now and on the pavement really advocating and I guess leading and helping others put some frameworks around events. Tell me about the work that's been done under this new pathway for Linda and Kath and all of us seeking new opportunities.
Yep. So much to talk about. It's interesting you talk about the tourism and events hand in glove, but events often getting less recognition. I could talk about that for so long, right? Because I've built two businesses on regional tourism and events, and I am such a passionate believer that tourism and events have a really symbiotic relationship and they shouldn't be treated separately. So let's just put that aside for another conversation because I could talk about that a lot. I think what we need to just remember is that events are often the reason for somebody to visit a regional destination for the first time. We have to remember that. Yeah. So they're powerful. But let's talk about Australian Centre for Regional Events. So yes, I've really blessed to have a business partner, Kathy Treasure, that some people may be familiar with. Kathy has a different background to me, much more in the events, the operations, the delivery side, working on global events. And her latest gig was Parks Elvis Festival down in Central West New South Wales. And she really built a best practice festival for regional Australia. So I'm absolutely blessed to work alongside Kath. And I wouldn't be able to do this without her. We really do work well together. And what we've created is an organisation that is designed to support events in regional and rural Australia to realise their potential. That's essentially what we want to do. We want to support those hardworking people, volunteers, staff, farmers, mums, grandmothers, etc., in regional and rural Australia to deliver exceptional and sustainable events. So that was born. There's lots of stuff and everybody can check us out online, all the usual stuff. But the one thing I'm really excited about, Despi, is we've also only this week launched Eventfolk. So Eventfolk is our community that sits under Australian Centre for Regional Events. So we do capability building programs, we help design new events, we do all of that kind of fun, creative stuff. What we're really passionate about is bringing those regional and rural event folk together, because we see every single day the value that comes from connection. And we work with these amazing people that often feel isolated. They don't feel like they have a big support network, and they work really hard to deliver events. So we wanted to create this opportunity to build a community of event folk that can share knowledge, that can connect, that can support one another, that can be inspired by one another, that can be always identifying best practice. So we did it. We launched it on Monday. And actually this morning we had our first coffee and connect. So we do that. We're doing those once a month where you jump online. Anyone in Eventfolk can jump online and we all just have a chat over coffee and we share. And we just had our first one and it was amazing. We had people from, I think we had 3 states and territories in there doing or having conversations about regional events. Really excited about Eventfolk.
So good. I don't freak out. I didn't go anywhere. I'm just playing with my little tools. Eventfolk, Folk. That's very, for anyone that's tuning in from overseas, I know folks is quite common, isn't it? It's event people from around the Australian regions and beyond coming together in a shared community. I absolutely love it. It needs such a beautiful, engaging platform. Just having a squiz this week while it's dropped and gone live, it's fantastic. And now and when we first caught up about Eventfolk and this concept, it really broadened my mind too, just in how much. Just yesterday, I went to Minion. It was for a business event that I was presenting, but here I am. It was this gorgeous little town in Gippsland, Victoria. And suddenly I'm like, I want to come back with my family. But it was the event. It was the gathering that sparked that interest. In the same way that community sporting, I think we've both parallel universe of kids, active kids, and just how much that brings into communities. And what I love that you touched on is that a lot of the event folk that are responsible for big significant events are volunteer run. They're community leaders that are welcoming people into their community and not necessarily having that appropriate training. So tell me, what have you found so far this week and the interest that's gone into event folk?
It's been so good. Oh my God. Yeah, really. We've had, it's hard to build a community and it will take time and we're prepared to put that time and energy in. But this week, launching on Monday, putting ourselves out there, it was so great that I had one of the very first people that called me on the day was a long-term friend from Gippsland, actually. How funny. Yeah, she now works for Regional Arts Victoria. She's a creative. She loves events. And we connected during COVID. Her name's Lindell. So Lindell, if you're listening, how are you doing? She rang me on Monday and she's LT because she calls me LT. She's like, I have just seen Eventfolk. She's like, holy dooly, this is amazing. She's like, this is exactly what we need. She said, we've got all these creatives across Victoria that they need support with events. They need to be able to connect. They need to be able to share and learn. So that was the first conversation I'd had once we launched. And both Kath and I have had a really positive response from people just saying it resonates. Even this morning in our Coffee and Connect, there was an event organiser from a field day down in New South Wales, and he only had his event 3 weeks ago. So he's like really in that kind of post-event haze. And he said, I got it in my inbox. And he said, it was just talking to me, like in terms of fatigue, feeling alone. He had to bump out a lot of stuff because all the other stuff were away or had to have some time off. And it's I guess what we're hearing, which is really great, is that it's resonating. It is what people want. It is this connection. It's this opportunity for us to feel like we're part of a bigger community in regional events.
And look, and something that you've inherently always known, because sometimes this is what I wanted at some point, that you can have that immediate feedback, like the gentleman that joined you for the coffee chat this morning, just saying this spoke directly to me. I just need to be with my people to not, and that feeling of loneliness. I think that's fantastic. Now, Eventfolk How can people become involved? For anybody that is listening and tuning in, that, you know, is resonating and wants to get involved with Eventfolk, how does this work?
Yeah, look, it's a community for individuals. So anybody that is working in events, whatever capacity that may be, you might find yourself as a volunteer in events, you might be an event supplier, you might be an event promoter, you might be working in local government in events. So it's open. I think it's important for everyone to know it's open to everyone and all types of events, because we all have something to share. So whether it's sporting events or business events or
Yes.
artists and creatives delivering events, it's this inclusive platform for anybody that works in events. So for anybody that wants to join, it's really simple. You just go to australianregionalevents.com.au and we've got an Event Folk tab really prominent on the site. Jump in there. It's got all the information, one click of a button and you're in. And then it's just this, we've got our own little community in there. We do all of our live chats in there. It all happens in one place. So it's a great little hub and community for people to tap in to what they need. So we've got things like, we're putting grants in there. So we've got a grants tracker for events all over Australia. So it's trying to build
Great.
it as a one-stop shop. So you can get information, you can ask. We've got a section in there called Ask and Learn. So we often get events that will say, oh, does anyone have any recommendations for, you know, a supplier in audiovisual down in regional Victoria, for example? Does anyone have a recommendation for some software that I can use to improve my systems? Or so it's an opportunity as well just to ask questions, share, connect, learn. And we've also got some great guest presenters that we're bringing in as well. We're calling that spotlight session. So it's not just about Kath and I sharing. This is about everyone building their own community and starting to work with one another and learn from one another and connect with one another. So we've got some inspiring guest presenters that we'll drop in and have live conversations with as well. So yeah, very simple. Sign up today. Join us in Eventfolk.
Join. And is this now, there's a fee to join? How does that work? Is that
Yes,
something
there
that,
is.
yeah?
Yeah. Look, we've tried to keep it as affordable as we can, knowing the diverse mix of event folk out there. So at the moment, we've got a special founding folk offer. So that's $299 a year. It will then move to $350. Our rate's going to be $350 a year, or you can pay monthly, so $35 a month. Cancel at any time, no obligation if it's not right for you. And yeah, look, I may be a bit biased. We are going to offer really great value in there. So for that price, you'll be guaranteed that if you get in and you use it and you engage in it, you'll get great value back from it.
Oh, already a week in to do a live coffee chat, to have someone come in the back of an event to debrief. And I can imagine
Yeah.
even for a community like Regional Arts Victoria or other associations that are doing events who have these independent artists and creatives that add so much value to an event and the vibe and the feel, to give everyone confidence that, hey, I tried something new
Yeah.
at my event, and then spark like the pebble in the pond, the ripple effect that will have.
Yeah.
Congrats. I think it's a
Thanks,
no-brainer to
Desi.
have that opportunity to, yeah, to frequent, even just to have that access to you and Kath's brain trust over a
Yeah.
virtual coffee is
Yeah.
worth its weight in gold. Just
And
5 minutes with you is
yeah.
worth that yearly fee. Like
Yeah,
it's,
absolutely. And Kath's experience in event delivery and operations is second to none. Like, she's amazing. So I've got the strategic brain, that side of it, and Kath has real innovative operational event delivery brain. So yeah, lots of potential. And then we have our community. Hey, there's one thing I have to say as well.
yeah.
There's another little side purpose to Event Folk. You know how we started the conversation talking about wanting to have a voice and wanting the
Yes.
little spark that Rose ignited in me? That's also part of this. So this is also about creating a collective voice for regional and rural events across Australia. So there is this little advocacy purpose. It's not the core purpose, but what we would love to see down the track when we've got this community pumping is that we can do things like advocate for a reform of funding for regional events, for example. These are big things that I have on my agenda. And I want to be able to have a community that says, yes, this is what we want. So that's a part of this as well, is to really build this collective voice, because we have so many people working in regional and rural events, but they're a bit like me, right? They're the quiet achievers just doing their thing. We want to just put all of those people together and say, hey, look at us, look at the great work that we do.
Yes. Personally, I have a husband who doesn't organise any events. Suddenly, he's the main event guy for anything related to the soccer community stuff. And what brings me to light here is also like this advocacy, but also risk mitigation with someone like yours and Kath's brains. Like, to also, what are we not thinking about when we're putting events, when I see, especially when it's not your core thing that you do in your world. So I just think this is so important. I might get Mr. Ev, if you're listening, Eventfolk. You're doing more events than I
Jump in.
am these days. Yeah, for fundraisers and things like that. I am, and speaking of learning, I am so thrilled to be invited to run a masterclass for your Eventfolk. And I guess I've been doing a lot of work around the digital and AI, and I'm calling it AI efficiency, like efficiencies in with AI, and it's bringing me much joy to put something that's a first that is really tailored to the event folk. So it's AI for event folk, and that's something that's coming up on Wednesday the 12th at 12 p.m. Queensland time, so a bit of a lunch hour of power together, or 1 o'clock if you're tuning in from Melbourne, or check with ChatGPT what time it is. We know where you're tuning in from. And that's the thing here. I guess we talk about the Australian Centre of Regional Events, but I know there are a lot of people that listen to these podcasts that are coming in from overseas. The beauty of this, that in the way that we operate, or for a community like Eventfolk, is that anybody can join. If you're feeling that this is something that I need, but you're not in Australia, Eventfolk is open to all communities. I think the more of us that are there and sharing, the better.
Oh, how fabulous. Yeah. And the good thing about what we've built is that we can create little geographic hubs within Eventfolk. So our vision is, right, down the track, when we've got thousands of Eventfolk in there engaging and sharing, you can create little geographic hubs. It might be that there's regional Victoria, or there might be the Pacific Islands. Like, it could be that there's little hubs. So you're also able to find people in your kind of geographic footprint to be able to go, hey, I'm not far from you, we should connect, or we should volunteer at each other's events, or those are the types of things that we have vision for in the future. So absolutely, Eventfolk is open to anybody working in events, and we'd love to think that one day it does become a global community. How great would that be? Because we've got so much to learn as well from other countries.
Absolutely. What a great first of its kind. And I just love what you said, even just having that vision that there's also a place here for us to lead and advocate through the many voices, the power of we, I've been calling it this week, the power of we. It's just as integral to regional events as it is in any business or community, just that power of the collective voice. And also, just from the funding perspective, I think in all regions, in the visitor economy, we're seeing more and more that pathway to purchase or pathway of a visitor's experience is led through, you mentioned straight up, through an event in a community. So AI for Eventfolk is our virtual gathering of the minds to share a bit of the efficiencies in events and how we can use AI to help that journey. And Eventfolk. So we need to go. I'm going to smash the resources in the notes of this podcast. You can pause, you can write down, or you can visit this episode when it drops on the Tourism Hub podcast. But for anybody that's wanting to know more information, you need to go to Australian Centre of Regional Events.com.au, is it? The website?
Just australianregionalevents.com.au.
australianregionalevents.com.au, and look for Eventfolk and register your interest and become a member of the community. The next coffee chat, is that an every Friday thing or monthly? End of month?
It's a monthly, yeah. So
beautiful.
We'll always have something on a Friday, whether it be a coffee chat or we've got a guest presenter, like an inspirational event folk that will join as what we're calling our spotlight sessions. So our first one for that will be the founder of Big Red Bash in Birdsville and Monday Bash in Broken Hill. That's Greg Donovan. So he'll be joining us next Friday for everyone just to pick his brain on designing event experiences in regional and rural communities. So lots of opportunity to pick brains. Yeah.
Yes. Was there anything that we have not covered that we must cover? We can have another round at this. Look, we're capturing the moment in time where this is the very beginning. I'm just getting so excited for you because how has this not been there? And it makes me proud, Linda. It makes me proud to see someone ignited like that, but even prouder that you've taken action, and here we are. You've launched this. It's almost a second launch. First came the Australian Centre of Regional Events, and then Eventfolk, the community that we can come together. Was there anything that we have not covered on a parting note as we wrap up this episode?
I think we've covered it all, Despi. I think this is the start of an exciting journey, and I think the message I'd like to get out to people is this is definitely not the Linda and Kath show. We are providing a platform to build a community that can support each other. So it's about getting the people in there, getting our folks in there to really build that community to support one another. And we are just facilitating that. So please just spread the word and jump into Eventfolk and be part of an exciting journey with us.
Here, and I would love to see anybody that's been ignited by this conversation and you have any involvement or know of someone in your patch, in your part of the world that could really benefit from this, to join Linda even for the next, that's coming before the AI event, isn't it? Your
chat with Greg. Yeah, that's Greg. Next Friday.
Friday.
Greg Donovan, next Friday, which I think is the 7th of November.
It is. Yeah, it is. So, yeah, get in on that action. Or Wednesday the 12th. We're already there, aren't we? Wednesday the 12th of November, 2025. Register. That, just for anyone that's curious, is that a member-only event or with a masterclass? Is that something that they can...
It's open to the public, so we're opening it to everyone, but you pay a fee if you are not part of Eventfolk.
Love it.
So non-members can pay a fee to come in.
For the Eventfolk community, but if you just want to come for a masterclass, yeah, there's an opportunity for you to do so as well, which I love. Many options. As always, Linda Tillman, I love your work, love what you're doing, and this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning of something really exciting. And thank you for the opportunity to share what's next and what's coming up. And I look forward to the 12th where we'll make more magic happen.
Yay. I can't wait for that one. It's, be really inspiring for our event folks. So thank you. Thank you for your support. You do an amazing job talking to all amazing people across tourism. So thank you for the work that you do as well.
Oh, ditto. The tourism and events.
Stop it.
Love. Yeah, and business. That's it. It's for everybody to benefit, because that's what you see. These communities, we want them thriving. I just think
that's it.
And again, I don't want to go. I look at my mum's village in Greece without sounding like full Greek here, but I go and it's become. It is this most gorgeous little town, but it's become derelict. Everyone's left, and there's no one there. I think if there was something, if we had back then what they have now, that's what we don't want. When we want all of these communities to continue to thrive past us being here.
Absolutely. Well said. Yeah, that's exactly what we want. And events can create that.
Can
They
create
create
that.
vibrancy, resilience in our regional communities. Like they're just
Yes.
so powerful.
So powerful, like you. Big love, Linda, Kath, who's listening, and everyone at Eventfolk. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Tourism Hub podcast. And I'll see you on the 12th. And please make your way over to the Googles and the Chatties and the Claudies, whatever you need to do, and get on board and check out Eventfolk. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Relax.